Hey YouTubers, with this video I want to go through with you live in real time the installation of a Eonon GA7153 into a VW Beetle 2015 VW Beetle with the Fender sound system. So as you can see, this has the steering wheel buttons there, and the old radio looks like that. I forget exactly, this is an RNS 510 I believe, but I might be wrong. I'll correct that in the description if I am. So again, I had a couple of exchanges with Eonon before I actually purchased this unit, and supposedly this is advertised as working in the Fender Edition cars. This is a convertible, by the way. And but they also did tell me that they never tested this out, so they were not absolutely sure if it worked on this car or not. So I took a chance at about $279, I believe, with the backup camera included, and hopefully I am not wrong. The first a little bit of experience with them, its support seemed to be pretty responsive actually pre-purchase. The one thing I wasn't happy with, again, it's the principle at this point, it's not the money, but I actually found a $3 coupon. When I applied it to the cart, it accepted it and it took the money off, but then when I went to pay with PayPal, even though PayPal had the correct amount, it actually did not take out the $3. So again, it's not about the $3, it's about the principle. So hopefully it's not just the beginning of a bad experience. In any case, here's what the unit looks like. I like the fact that it has the actual knobs for volume and for tuning. And this has the GPS, AM, FM, and CD or DVD actually. And as you know, this is a Android, so you know, it should be cool to have this without having to be married to either an iPhone or an iPad, because you can use or Samsung rather, because you can use this independently of your phone. So installation is pretty simple. The radio, the head unit came with all the cables necessary to plug directly into the cables that are behind the original head unit. So we'll see that as I go along. A lot of cables came with this head unit though, and I think that I know that some of them will not be needed. And again, and the first thing I noticed is that the instructions don't really go over anything. The instructions, in fact, booklet essentially has this picture in it, and that's the extent of the instructions that come with this unit. So it'll be a matter of plugging things in and figuring out the cables are labeled, but again, it would have been nice to have some instructions with this. So the first step is to take this head unit out. You'll notice that I already removed this bezel. And essentially it's a matter of prying it very carefully. So I did this with two hands, and I didn't want to screw it up and break this, because otherwise I need to replace it. Basically prying it out and in different spots until it comes off, and I'll show you where the clips are. So you can see there are two clips at the top here, and then some clips at the bottom, a little hard to see, another clip at the corner, okay, and right in the middle on either side. So it's just a matter, I didn't know when I pried this out where the clips were, so just a matter of being very, very patient, very careful, and doing a little bit of time and all the way around. So you're presented with this at this point, and even though you can see the screws that need to be removed in order for the unit to come out, you can't get to the screws. So you actually have to take out this entire vent and bezel right here. I'm going to try to do this with one hand as I'm holding my phone here, but basically very carefully needs to pry around this silver bezel until you get a good grip and take it out. So I'm gonna put my phone down and do this the right way. Okay, so it came off. Actually, the head unit came with this little prying tool, which is better than the one I had, the yellow one I had. It's a lot thinner here. So I just pried this bottom corner and then kind of went around a little bit, and this side came out, and then I pried this bottom corner over here and went around, and this side came out. So now the whole thing comes right off. And here is the whole vent system there. Okay, put that in the back. And so now it's a matter of getting some these Torx screws out, and I will show you how the unit comes out. So those are T15 Torx, and once they're removed, then the whole thing comes forward. Now, the whole thing comes forward, but the cables in the back, I already know because I took this out before to see what kind of cables I had back there. The cables are kind of short, so you have to protect with your hand the bottom right here to make sure that you don't scratch that up. So again, with the phone, one hand, it's going to be a little bit tough to do this, but I just want to show you what that looks like in the back. And then I'm going to put this down and take the cables out. So you probably can't see anything there, but there's other videos on the web, on YouTube that show this. Basically, you have some antenna connectors, and then there's a big connector that comes off. Let me undo them, and I will show you what the connectors look like. Okay, so the head unit is out. This is what the unit is, by the way, is a Premium 8. It's a Premium 8 head unit. So I'm going to put this down here. And here's what the big connector looks like. It has this lever on the bottom here. So basically it's closed when the connector is applied to the head unit. It needs to be pulled back, and then the connector comes right out. These two connectors instead, there is a little tab right there. The tab has to be pulled backwards, and then the connector comes off very easily. Same with that one. Okay, so just pull this little tab backwards, and the connector comes right off. So in fact, this is for the antenna right here. There's a dual antenna system in these cars, and then this is for the satellite receiver, which the new head unit does not have, so I will not be hooking this up. Okay, so let me get some cables and start getting those connected, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I believe these are all the cables that I'll need, not including the backup camera. So this is the connector that will plug into the connector that's on the car. And then on the other side of this guy, you have this CAN bus decoder that is the one that controls the buttons on the steering wheel. And so again, this is why it'd be nice to have some instructions. You have auxiliary in, right, and left in. Inputs. I don't really know what those are for. You have a little connector here. I'm not sure where this is going to go. And then you have all these little connector wires. One's labeled antenna. This one is labeled amp connector or common or something like that. Another one is labeled key 2 5 volts and key 1 5 volts. So these are capped, and I don't think they'll be used, but again, it's just a guessing game here. Of course, I'll be looking at this schematic here on the radio to figure this out, but for the moment, I'm going to use that. Then there is the another cable. This is for the this has to be for the backup camera, video in, and auxiliary in and right. Actually, no, this looks like it goes right there with those two guys, and then this is another video input, so I'm not even sure where the camera is going to go right now. Then there is a USB cable that has this connector on one end. It has auxiliary jack, 3.5mm jack on over there, and that's probably the one that essentially will replace that jack right down there that came with the car. So my plan is to actually take that out and replace it with one off of eBay that has auxiliary and USB. And in fact, this cable here also has two USB female connectors. So I'll be converting this so that the auxiliary and at least one of this USB are going to come right there inside in place of that black connector right there. And then of course it came with a GPS antenna for the GPS, and that plugs in the back of the head unit. So I need to find the cable for the backup camera, but for now this should satisfy the audio portion, the sound and all that, so get this thing running at least, and make sure that it works to begin with. So one more cable there. This is the connector that plugs into the white connector there on the car, and then that is obviously the antenna that plugs into the back of the head unit. So sadly, what I find more useful than any instruction and even the sticker on the radio, which I can barely see, is this is their website. So if you scroll all the way down to the head unit and see what it comes with, these are all the cables that it comes with. So looking at the numbers here and referencing that, in fact, I was wrong, because the 3.5mm jack that's on the USB cable is for the microphone. There is also, by the way, a built-in mic right there in the corner underneath the volume button. So I won't be plugging that in just yet. 12, so again, I'm not even sure where the backup camera goes in. Either 19, rear cam 22. So the rear camera is going to be one little connector that I think I gotta dig up still out of the box. Oh, I think this is it. Okay, so, and as you can see, the number is chopped off there, so I'm assuming it's that one, which goes right there. So it's gotta be this guy. So yeah, this is not the most the best situation here in terms of instructions. So I'll continue to plug this in. I already have the big connector plugged in, the antenna connector plugged in. This has the CAN bus decoder already plugged in. They came like this. So this definitely goes into the head unit. I'm not sure I need these yet. I need to put the backup camera and the USB cable. So after looking at this a little closer, in fact, I think that really the only thing I need right now, just to get the unit working, get the radio receiving an FM signal, and see if the steering controls work, is the GPS antenna that I throw up there for now and plugged into the back unit, head unit, the antenna, FM antenna, and then this connector right here. So I'm gonna go for this right now and see what happens. Okay, so I plugged it in and I have not turned it on yet, so this is the first time on and nothing happens. So let me push my power here, and it's on. Should probably move that light so you don't get that big shadow, that big reflection. Surely taking a long time to boot up. All right. January 1st, 1970. Obviously, I need to change that clock. I'm supposed to actually grab that from the GPS, so I'm not going to bother with that right now. In fact, I'm going to go to Navi. It's linked to Google, I guess. And I'm guessing that's my GPS signal there. So, not sure what's happening and not sure how to shut this up. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'll go to radio. Well, I got volume, I got sound. Oh, that's cool. You can drag it. I didn't know that. 106.7 is one.
Variety Radio, Magic 106.7.
And this.
Today's hits, yesterday's favorites. Boston's Variety Radio. All different kinds of music.
The most variety on the radio.
Magic 106.7.
Nobody celebrates the 4th of July like Macy's.
It's the largest independent state in the nation.
And a July has its own fireworks.
Meaning?
Savings on everyone's summer must-haves.
Ooh, ah.
No.
Obviously don't know how to use it yet, so
We're here for all the big moments. And the little ones, too. Like family reunions.
so there's got to be a way to search for radio stations. I'm sure I'll figure that out. So the radio works. That's a good thing. No GPS signal yet. So I'm in my garage, but I would think that it should work. So I'll try to figure that out and oh, there we go. There is how you search for stations. So it seems to be self-programming some of the memory buttons here. Wow. That's pretty neat. I mean, I don't need 18 memory settings, but
Really hands-on. And it prepared me to work as soon as I was done.
that's pretty cool actually. So it's finding the stations. I heard that the radio signal wasn't that good. I'm obviously in my garage not going anywhere, but it seems to be decent. I get the name of the station on the display, as you can see. So well, it's not bad. So I'll be playing with this some more.
Zeppelin, Neil Young.
It's actually, it sounds pretty good, and this is without touching any of the sound settings, so I'll play with those. So I think I want to see the camera working now, so I'm gonna get that figured out and come back. Okay, so I'm playing with this a little bit. I haven't done anything else in terms of connections and backup camera and so on. I did manage to get a GPS signal. I did do the connection to my home Wi-Fi first, so I'm not yet sure whether it's using my Wi-Fi or the actual GPS antenna. I did see some settings about using GPS only or Wi-Fi and data and so on, and I set it to GPS only, but I'm not sure. So I'm playing through with this. I haven't found the radio settings in terms of audio. I want to again see if there's anything special I need to do to accommodate for the Fender amp. Right now it seems to be okay. One of the apps, so I just went to Home and Apps, and so there's a lot of stuff actually that it came with preloaded. Chrome obviously, equalizer, there you go. Google Maps, Netflix, Play Store. So there's a lot of little things that it came with, even torque. Obviously, to use torque, you need to have the dongle plugged into your connector under the steering wheel. One of the things I was just playing with was this car settings, and so it is reading my battery voltage, and so that is through the CAN bus decoder. Outdoor temperature, remaining oil, warning, I did have the door open, so I'm gonna open my door and boom, there you go. Cleaning liquid, oh okay. Brake open, that doesn't seem to change status as I pull the emergency brake or if I step on the pedal. Safety belt warning, no, nothing there. My mileage is correct, speed obviously, and engine RPM are 0 because the car is off. But as I do this, the definitely annoying thing is the fact that I have to have my ignition on in order for this to be on, and it's just that's not right. So I'll continue to putz through this, and so obviously now that I have the GPS, I found my location. Band doesn't do anything unless you are on the radio. AMS apparently is to search for radio stations when you're in the radio. DVD, I don't have one plugged in. Home button, and then back. SD card. So I did plug in an SD card. It took a little bit of time to read it, and it did say ready. So when I go to music, I have a lot of MP3s there. It's a 32 gigabyte card. I expected to be able to select external, but nothing happens, so I'm not sure what's going on there. USB, I didn't even plug that in yet. And then iNAND looks like to be a folder that the radio came with, and it has some music in here which probably shouldn't be here from the factory, but I'm sure that Britney Spears might not like this. So anyways, so that's what I'm trying to figure out now, is why it doesn't see anything on my card. It seemed to read it successfully. By the way, when you click on on this part of the screen, that little pop-up comes up, and if you drag it down, then you have a few other things. Emergency call, that's my network, Wi-Fi, data. It's not tethered to anything right now, or it doesn't have actually this is a GPS card. This is supposed to have the capability to connect a cell phone, what should I call it, card, a GSM card. I thought that went there, but that's a GPS card, not a GSM card. Anyways, brightness, screenshot, clear memory, I haven't touched it yet, and then recent app, obvious, and then Navi. It actually allows you to select which application the GPS button is connected to, so that when you press the button, it goes right into the app. So right now it's connected to Google Maps, and there it is. So it just lists all the apps that are loaded here that you might want to plug into that button. When I hit this little circle button there, it goes right back to the home screen. I like the home screen, by the way. I noticed previous versions of this radio, I've been looking at these things for a while, had much of a busier home screen, and to me, when you're driving, you shouldn't have that. So I like the fact that this is cleaner, and there are a few buttons here that allow you to do certain things, and then of course the knobs, as I mentioned, and the mute button, that could be handy. So I'll keep digging through, trying to figure out the SD card, and I haven't gotten to, again, the audio settings. I imagine it's somewhere in here. Equalizer, I'm not sure this is even it, so I'll look at that. Gmail, I would not want to be reading emails on the car. Internet radio, I'm guessing. Play Store, obviously, to download apps. Steering wheel. Also, I think I read about this previously this allows you to map your steering wheel to, I guess, different functions on the radio. But I would expect that the basic functionality, like volume for instance, should be... let's try it out. So volume is right here. Alright, so that worked. Phone button on the steering wheel. Very, very dark. It did change screen, went to the phone. Left button, for music, up and down, volume up and down. I've never even used that button, so... that's the mute, I guess. Alright. And then these are dash screens, so they should not do anything there, and in fact they don't. So those change those settings. So I don't think that this section is going to do anything. These seem to be already mapped, so that's a good sign. I'll keep digging. Okay, so I found an app right here, GPS Test Plus, and when I go in there, it does say the GPS is on. It reports all the satellites that it found in view, in use, 3D satellite map. Oh, cool! Wow, this is really neat. Tells me where I am, which is correct. Let's see if I can zoom in. No, can't do anything with that. Longitude, latitude, speed, altitude, heading, time, local date, sunrise. Wow, that's really, really cool. So you can just click on the different buttons there. Accuracy 6.3 feet. Not bad. Cool. Okay, so perhaps we have some light at the end of the tunnel in terms of this accessory power requirement. If you go under the settings and car settings, there is so this is settings, and then car settings, data system. There is shutdown delay, 1 hour. So I guess you have to turn the accessories on, ignition on, but at least with this it stays on for an hour. I would probably set it to 10 minutes when I'm done, but for now that I'm playing with it, I can accept that. Okay, so another setting I found here under about device, wireless update. Again, I am connected to my home Wi-Fi right now, so it's checking for the current software version, check for updates, and it told me that it's current, so that's a cool thing. That's one way to update the head unit's OS here. So everything checks out. So what I don't know, I know that now that I've played with it, I have a whole bunch of apps open. Oh, okay. Alright. So this is just like, I have a Samsung actually. So I mean, overall, it's pretty intuitive. I still haven't found the actual audio settings, but actually I think I did. So I'm going to shut off all these apps that I played with, even the maps, that one, Play Store. These are already open actually. Maybe they do that to show you, capabilities. I guess there's a picture loaded in there. So I can close that. Settings, the radio. There's a video. Looks like I'll be deleting to gain room. Oh, so all those connectors I showed you earlier for auxiliary input, I guess they must be going there. So it must be the app used to see them. So now it's clean again, there's nothing loaded. So if I click on radio, it opens up the radio app, and if I go back home, oh, okay, so now I can see the radio app in there. I can click on that as well, and I can change it that way. I have them down. So okay, so a couple of other things I found out. First of all, I did turn the engine on and try to change the AC settings. Nothing shows up on the screen. Their website says that this will display air conditioner information. It does not do that. I don't have backup sensors, so I'm okay with that. And yes, I did see an app for mirroring of the phone onto the Android or iPhone onto the head unit, so I'm assuming that works, but again, I don't really plan on using it, so it doesn't matter. So dashboard, handbrake again doesn't seem to work either. Car headlights, it does, so you can see the buttons. Turning the lights on, the buttons lit up, even though it's out of focus. You get the idea. I'm sure I can change the colors, that's no big deal. Reversing control, when I put on reverse, the screen went black, so obviously that's working. I haven't hooked up the camera yet again. And in terms of the audio settings that I was looking for, really all it boils down to is these guys right here. Apps and equalizer settings. These are the extent of the audio controls that this unit has. So it has equalizer, some presets here, rock, normal, jazz, news, whatever. Rock seems to be cool. Loudness on and off. Of course, you can change these by just dragging, and then you can click on that button there, that button right there, and you get the fader, front, rear, left and right, and subwoofer, loudness, and mid, which I'm not sure what that does because I can't even shut it off. I did change these. Actually, these probably change with the EQ settings, so if I go to that one, go back, now they seem the same. So I know I changed those earlier. These sliders and buttons are kind of small, so you probably wouldn't want to do this while driving. I can't even move it now, I'm not sure why. That's all center, so that's cool.